Good morning. It is Friday and we are 1 week into our IVF journey, and that means I get to share it with all of you guys today. I want to start by saying that if you do YouTube on a daily, weekly basis or as a career, I really commend you, because this is hard. It's really awkward to videotape yourself, and I have started this video multiple times, but I have decided that this video is going to be the one that we make it all the way through. Today I have some updates for you guys. I last left off with starting injections, I think. So last Friday, Brandon and I started injections. It went pretty well, but I was honestly surprised at how painful the menopause injections can be. I had to do a shot for an IUI procedure. When I did the trigger shot, they pulled my ovulation one time, and I could barely feel it, is what I remembered. So when I went to do these shots, I was nervous, but I figured it won't be so bad. It's definitely tolerable, but it's more painful than I expected. But we have been getting through it. And we did menopause and follistim for multiple days. Let's see. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday we went in for our first appointment to monitor the follicles. She saw that we had 11 follicles on the left side and 14 follicles on the right side. Everything seems to be growing at the pace that they wanted to be growing, so that was great. She did, however, send me home with a quest to go get this other shot, which basically stops my ovulation from happening. That I was really nervous for, because up until that point, I had been home every evening with Brandon, and he was able to give me my shots, which really took the stress out of doing the shots. But at that point, I had to do it by myself, and that was really stressful. If you know me, you also know that I nanny, and that meant that I had to pick the babies up and then go home to get this shot and do it as quickly as I could, and I may have shed a few tears on my way to get the shot. But once I was home and I did it, it was fine, and I'm still going to make Brandon give me those nighttime shots, but I feel like a champ for getting through the morning ones. Anywho, she's going to put us on that shot, which is ganirelix, however you say it, every day up until we do the egg retrieval to make sure that I do not ovulate. She added a second vial of menopause, which I will be doing every day as well. That started Wednesday. We got through Thursday. Today is Friday, so this morning I had my second appointment to monitor the follicles. It went pretty well too. She surprisingly saw 20 follicles in my right ovary, and some of them are smaller, so it's not to say that all of those are going to make it to the egg retrieval, or at least through, maturing of the eggs. However, that was exciting. That's good. It's always good to hear that you have more. The left side was growing pretty quickly. I had some big follicles on the left side, so that was good news. And she let us know that we will probably be triggering on Monday and doing the retrieval on Wednesday. So everything is progressing. It's going well. We're excited. And that leads us to this moment right here, which I could tell you symptoms that I've been having. And it hasn't been too bad. I can say that I've been having this pretty painful, like, I don't know how to describe it, like pressure or like sometimes a stabbing pain over on my left ovary. However, with my endometriosis, I get those pains, on a weekly basis anyway. So although it's really uncomfortable, I'm used to it and I've been able to manage that. As far as emotions have gone, I have had just a couple little moments where I would have teared up more than normal, but it's stable at this point, and I'm guessing that through the next several days, with the remaining of these hormones pumping through my body, I might get a little crazy. For now, I'm cruising, so we're good. It's not easy, but we're getting through it, and yeah. This week on my Instagram, I was just kind of saying minimally the things that I had just said, just giving updates throughout the week. And one thing that was brought to my attention is somebody was wondering what follies are. And I call them follies, but what I'm referring to are the follicles. And that helped me to understand that I'm going through this process, and I've been going through a similar process to this for a long time. I've had to do a lot of research on, reproduction and what it takes to make a baby and what have you. So my anatomy and everything has been refreshed, but it helped me to understand that not everybody knows what I'm talking about. So I thought that in this video I would do a little recap, which will also follow into the different hormones. I'm going to show you the different hormones I've been taking. That was another question. And then I think I have just another couple questions after that people had asked me that I will talk about. But yeah, so the follicles, basically the best way I can describe it is that every month in each ovary we get a handful of follicles. And these follicles are potential eggs. So inside of the follicles will be a potential egg, but to get to that point, the follicle needs to grow big and the egg inside needs to mature. So on a natural cycle, what would happen is that your body would pick just one, maybe two, three if you get triplets, but mostly one follicle to grow big and to mature into an egg. And then at that point, the sperm would find the egg and the egg would fertilize, and then you would implant embryos and, so forth. Well, during IVF, what happens is instead of your body naturally producing one egg or stimulating one follicle, we are trying to stimulate all the follicles. So if I have anywhere from 25 to 30 something follicles, we want to stimulate all of them and get them all growing really big and having the best shot at having mature eggs on the inside. Because the more mature eggs you have, the more chances that you have to create fertilized eggs. Sorry, Coley's distracting me. Say hello. Say hello. So that's what's been going on. So the next question that I got was, what hormones am I taking? And to talk about the hormones. So I've kind of gone over it in videos and posts, but I'll do it in this one. The first one I take is called Follistim. Let's see if it goes. Yeah, there we go. Follistim. The Follistim is basically an injection pen that comes with a cartridge. You put the cartridge in there and then you give yourself the injections. That one is not so bad. It helps to stimulate the follicles and helps them grow big. Oops. Helps the majority of them grow big. As well as this one, this guy, the Menopur. Let's see if it'll focus. Kinda. The Menopur also does that. It helps to stimulate the ovaries, grow the follicles, and also I believe that one helps with egg quality is what I've heard. So that helps with that. Then I have a injection to prevent ovulation from happening. That is this one. That's the ganirelix. And yeah, those are the 3 that I'm on right now. We will add a trigger shot Monday, which I have in the fridge. Basically, it's just a hormone that tells your body to ovulate after 36 hours or something around there. And that prepares us to get to our retrieval process. During the retrieval process, what's going to happen is they're going to go internally, like in through the womb, basically like puncture this little needle into my ovaries and take each follicle out one by one. After they do that on both sides, they're going to go and they're going to examine the eggs. They're going to see how many are matured eggs. And with each matured egg, they're going to take one tiny sperm and they're going to put one sperm in each of those mature eggs. After they do that, they will wait and see how many of those matured eggs fertilize. And several days after that, we'll see how many of those fertilized eggs turn into embryos. Then we're going to freeze them and do the transfer the month after. After we have all the information and my body has time to go back to more of a natural state. Yeah, those are the hormones that I take and a little bit of what they do. My next question was, where's my phone? Let me see. Let me go see. Let's see. Ooh, does Brandon give me my shots? And the answer to that is absolutely. Brandon gives me as many shots as he is here for. I'd really prefer not to give myself the shots. In the morning I have to, but I'm so grateful that he has been here to do them for me. It just takes out the extra anxiety that the shots cause. With that being said, Brandon is flying out of town today in a couple of hours, and my dad is flying into town to help me with these shots. I wasn't anticipating him coming, but I was hoping that he would. My dad, being the most awesome dad that there is, knew that I was pretty anxious about it, and I got a text back saying, I booked my flight, I'm flying in Friday at this time, can you come pick me up? And I said absolutely, and yeah, so my dad will be here to help me with the shot, so you'll get a chance to meet him. We'll try to get some footage of that. That'd be silly. And my last question, which is a really good question from our really good friend, Christy. We love you so much. She asked, how do we remain such a solid team during such a challenging time of our lives? And that's a really good question because, in all honesty, we aren't always such a solid team. We always end up being a really solid team in every decision we make, but getting there is really stressful because, you know, couples deal with emotions and different things going on in life in different ways, and that's just natural. But when you have infertility that affects both partners and you both have your insecurities and the different things going on and you want something so badly, it's really straining and stressful on a marriage or any kind of relationship. And I could say that when I found out that I was doing IVF, or that's where I would probably end up, I was in 110%. The moment the doctor said it, I was ready to go do it. I didn't care what it took to get there. I was going to make it happen. And because it's been something that I've wanted my entire life, and I had been doing all these other procedures that haven't panned out, I just wanted to keep the ball rolling. But for Brandon, it was really difficult because, you know, with the emotions comes, financial obligations as well. And as we all know, IVF is not inexpensive, and it's not covered, at least for us, by insurance. So you pay completely out of pocket, and it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. And the logistical side of him, I think, probably thought, how could we ever make this happen? And the emotional side of me was like, we will make this happen. However, we have to make this happen because we deserve it, and I want this so bad. Fortunately, our parents have been so supportive and so understanding and so loving. It was actually my parents in the beginning who kind of nudged me to go seek treatment. It's something that I had wanted to do and had opened up about it a little bit, and they just said, just go do it, go get help. We're here to support you and love you through this. And that just gave me the courage to go do it. And I'm so glad that we did, because it brought us to this moment. And I want to say that as hard and as difficult as IVF can be, we understand wholeheartedly that not everybody is able to have access to IVF. And though there are days that it's really difficult, we do not take this journey for granted, even for a second. We are so, so grateful to be able to do this, and we hope that it turns out to be a really positive, great experience. And whatever happens, I know that we are going to grow through this, and that it's going to be a very significant chapter in our lives. And that's the take that I had on this all along, is that if I was given this struggle, I was given it for a reason, and I could make something good come out of it. And that's what I hope to do. Not necessarily just having a baby and that be something good to come out of this, but to help other couples who are feeling alone and sad and heartbroken over infertility, and just to kind of normalize it, that this is something a lot of people are struggling with, and we don't have to keep it hush hush and hide it, from our friends or from our family. It feels good to open up and be vulnerable about it, and I think it really helps other people who are going through it too. So we are happy to share this journey with everybody, and we are so glad that you are a part of it with us. If there's one last thing that I could think of to say, it's that I am so beyond grateful for the incredible husband that I have. Obviously, without him, none of this would be happening, but he loves me through all of these hardships, and it shows, because even if he's not quite where I'm at in the decisions that we're making and the things I want to do, he is right there after, if that makes sense. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, if I want something, he's going to make sure that it happens, even if it's difficult, even if it takes a while. He's there to support me and to love me. And I just wanted to say that you are such a light in my life, and I am so proud of the person that you are. I love you for every ounce of stubbornness that you show me. You are stubborn, you are sassy, you have an attitude, and with that, you are silly, and you are loving, and you are kind, and you work so hard for us and for this family. And there are no other words to say. Like, we love you so, so much, and I'm so happy to be on this journey with you. So, even though you're not into doing all these YouTube things with me, me and Coley are here to say that we love you. Say, I love you. Meow. I will be back in to update everybody next week and through the week on my Instagram. So if you want to follow along with us, see what we're up to, you can check out Kindly the Linds on Instagram, and yeah, go along for this wild ride with us. All right, have a good weekend. Ciao.